Good morning, Cedars Church family. I want to bring you another word of encouragement. We're still working our way through Psalm 139. And this next section, the last section here, it's a little bit interesting. Um, it's not easy serving the Lord sometimes. Oh, it's a wonderful thing, and I love doing it. And I have so much gratitude for my salvation. But man, we live in a world that will suck you away in a heartbeat. There are things to tempt us and to pull us away and to seduce us. And some people would say, you know what? Just go do it. Just go do those things. I mean, you're human. Just engage in whatever you want to engage in. But that we know that doesn't please God. We know that's not how He wants us to live. He wants us to already be working on and living in the life that He wants us to live. And one day He will give us perfection, but we just don't have that yet. Even the Apostle Paul, probably one of the greatest Christians who ever lived, would say, man, the thing that I want to do, I don't do it. And the thing I don't want to do, that's what I go do. So we can get frustrated sometimes dealing with that aspect of our lives that becomes a challenge. So we get frustrated when people try to seduce us. We get frustrated when people try to come against the Lord. And we want to be loving, absolutely, when that happens. But sometimes it's frustrating. It's hard for us to deal with. It's hard for us to address when we see the way that people act and behave. Trying not to be judgmental, but we're also trying not to stumble and fall ourselves. So verse 19 of Psalm 139 starts out with, if only you would slay the wicked, O God. And some of us would say, oh, I think. But it's very important that we examine this next part of the passage. If only you would cut them off. If only you would, and there's an element of letting it be God's judgment. And if there's something that's super important for us as Christians to remember, is it's God's place to judge, it's our place to love. It's God's place to judge, it's our place to love. God does the judging, and it's up to Him. For us, we want to be loving and we want to be compassionate, and we need to understand that there are people who just don't end up following after His ways. But it's not up to us to be judgmental on that, but to hopefully love them into the kingdom. So he's like, Lord, would you handle this? Can you do it? Away from me, you bloodthirsty men. There's people, they're coming after me. Lord, can you cut them off? Can you please keep them away from me? They speak of you with evil intent. Your adversaries misuse your name. People will come at us and they just don't like God. And that's okay. If they're not going to like God, they don't have to like God. That's not my responsibility. My job is to simply try to love them and not give them a reason to not like God. They've got their own reasons for not liking God. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord, and abhor those who rise up against you? This is a very interesting passage. Do I not hate those who hate you? There's two aspects. Number one, there's an Oriental culture, a Middle Eastern culture that has this mindset of loving and hating at the same time. We don't understand that. I either love you or I hate you. But there's this, I can love you, but I can hate you feeling that was around. It was part of this culture and in the Western mindset. We don't fully understand that. But even more so, he's not saying that I hate them, I hate you. He's saying, I hate what you stand for. I hate what you have become. I am hateful towards your own personal sin. And it's important for us to remember that. And that is also going to be found in many of the other Psalms that he writes about, that I hate the deeds of what these other people are doing. And that's really where he's coming from when he says, I hate those who hate you. I hate the deeds I hate their actions, Lord. I can't stand that they do this and that they rise up against you. And he's like saying, Lord, I stand for what you stand for. I want to stand for what you stand for. And it's not always easy to fulfill that. He says, I have nothing but contempt, but hatred for them, for their deeds. And I count them as my enemies. And now that hits it on the mark. Lord, they are enemies of you, and therefore they are coming against me. I have to see that as an enemy to my soul, my life, my way of being. And some people are going to sit here and go, wow, Brett, that's pretty hardcore. But you know what? We have to take care of ourselves. We have to watch out for our soul, no matter what. And if they want to come against us and try to seduce us, then yeah, that is something that would make someone an enemy against your soul if they're trying to pull me away into something that is truly evil. But he says something very interesting here, verse 23. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Search me. Lord, you know what I'm trying to say. Lord, you know what I'm feeling here. You know what's happening in my heart. You know my heart, and that I desire to love you. I'm just trying to love you. I'm trying to serve you. I'm trying to walk in your ways. Not that we want to come out and just be judgmental on people. Lord, I just want to follow after your ways. So, Lord, search my heart. That's a huge challenge. You ever think to ask that, Lord? Would you search my heart? Would you scan me and know my heart? Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Know my anxious thoughts and see if there's any offensive way in me. And then he says, Lord, and if you find something in me that's offensive, I don't want to be offensive. Lord, we see these things that are offensive, and it's like, Lord, am I offending you? It's so easy to think that we're trying to be good for goodness sake. Lord, no, we're just trying to love him and serve him and be right for him. He says, if there's anything offensive in me, then Lord, lead me in the way everlasting. Lord, would you correct that in me? That's an important word for us. If we are walking in a particular path and we need to change, we need to get on the right path, Lord, would you lead me in the right path? So as we're hanging out by ourselves, as we're quarantined, as we are trying to deal with these things, let's try to focus on what he wants for us and to trust in him that he has our best for us. So we ask him to search us. We ask him to look for our anxieties, for anything that's not right in us, and to lead us on the right path. Well, I hope that brings you to a good day. And God bless you. And I want you to know that you